paper rolled up in a tube in his hand. "Don't you even want to take a peek at what I brought?" Morgan had to give the boy credit. He'd stuck by him for weeks, trying to cheer him up, trying to nursemaid him through the depths of despair that followed the confrontation with the killer Ephraim Swan. Frank could tell the poor ranger was worried to the point of vexation, but he couldn't bring himself to care. Beaumont read him the paper every day, but there was no news worth hearing. He tried to engage Morgan in card games, but even when Frank held a winning hand, he folded anyway. The exasperated ranger even hired a girl to come in and sing. Sing she did, everything from beautiful arias to bawdy ballroom ballads. But she'd reminded Morgan of Dixie's daughters. Now the boy had some other notion of a surprise rolled up in his hand, some little something or another he thought would salve Morgan's tormented soul and somehow make him forget about the brutal murder of his innocent wife. Something that would set everything right in the world again. Since Dixie's death, Frank Morgan had felt like little more than an empty husk of a man. If he walked outside, he knew he'd blow away like one of the passing tumbleweeds on the cold West Texas wind. In the weeks since the standoff with Swan, Morgan had been slow to recover physically. He hardly ate more than a nibble, and spent all his waking hours gazing out the tiny window in his rented room. The doctor insisted there was no reason why he shouldn't make a full recovery and regain his complete health. But Morgan knew he was only a shadow of his former self. The weeks turned into months, and though his body continued to mend, he knew the part of him that was really alive was slipping away with each passing day. His long, dark hair had more silver to it than ever, and it stuck out in all directions, depending on how he slept. He kept his pistol handy on a peg beside the bed and threatened to shoot anyone who came near him with a comb. A heavy, matted tangle of salt and pepper beard couldn't hide the hollows of his cheeks or the sunken crescents under his eyes. Frank Morgan looked and smelled of death. The man who couldn't be beaten had simply given up. Morgan's cracked lips barely parted when he spoke. Velda was the only one with brains around here. She left when the getting was good. His once piercing whisper was now no more than a careless mumble. I wouldn't want to sit around and watch a used-up old gunfighter rot away any more than she did. Her leaving had nothing to do with you, Frank. Velda just never could get used to settling down to a respectable life. Beaumont gave a shrug and chuckled. His lips pulled back, forming an easy smile. He fell for women fast, but appeared to get over them with equal speed. Last I heard, she'd run off with a sassy gambler from Waco who had more money than he had good sense. Now, you quit with all this talk about rotten. The doc says you're getting better in spite of your grumpy nature. A man like you is too tough to be done in by a little blood leakage. Morgan scoffed, staring up at the leak-stained ceiling. Son, the things you don't know about a man like me could fill a mighty big book. Beaumont rolled the yellow paper tighter in his hands like a club and used it to point at Morgan. I know plenty, you old cob. I grew up on Frank Morgan stories. My pa used to tell me all about your escapades when I was just a sprout. My only aim was to grow up to be just like Frank Morgan. I grew up idolizing you. And if you'd get up off your hind end, I still would. Frank waved away the compliment as if it were a horsefly. I don't much care to be emulated. It's too damned burdensome a responsibility. The ranger scooted his chair closer and shrugged off the comment. His face brimmed over with the enthusiasm of his normally positive nature, like a wide-eyed puppy excited about everything. Listen here, Morgan. The bubbles downstairs and Mrs. Pratt's weather-guessing glass say we can expect some clearing tomorrow and some warmer weather, I'd expect. He spread the paper flat out in front of him so Frank could read it. I got something here that might be just the cure for what ails you. Morgan scanned the yellow flyer.